International Fight Week is finally just around the corner, and I'm excited for it because of its great fights in the card, and it's going to be my first ever as a UFC fan as well. Ilya and Oliveira will duke it out to become the new lightweight champion since we have the vacant lightweight title up for grabs, as Islam will be moving up to the welterweight division. We will be breaking down each fight starting from the early prelims and working our way to the main event of the card. I will also give Shrimp's predictions as we had some issues recording together with me being out of the country. But anyway, guys, like always, without further ado, let's start with the first fight between Nico Price and Jacoby Smith. We have a welterweight bout between these guys, and Jacoby Smith is an insane 1,800 favorite in this fight. This is just a layup fight for Jacoby to keep building up his name, to be honest. However, Jacoby is a great striker with a lot of power. He is very freaking dangerous. He's very fast and very explosive and some nice wrestling credentials. He does have a really good takedown threat, like he showed in his Dana White Contender Series appearance. On the other hand, Nico Price, he does get hit a lot. And if Alex Morano is able to land strikes on Nico Price and he's faster than Nico, Jacoby's gonna demolish him, man. I feel so bad for Nico Price. I don't even know why he decided to pick this fight an extra amount to choose it because he's just gonna get destroyed. Both Shrimp and I got Jacoby Smith by a KO win. Sweet guys, moving on to the next fight, we got Jonathan Denise going up against Alvin Hines. Denise, he's coming off a loss to Marcin Toburo, where it was a TKO doctor stoppage. Going up against Alvin Hines, he's an undefeated fighter. It's going to be his UFC debut. This guy's got 3 KO slash TKO wins and 3 submission wins. Denise, he's a kickboxer with nice striking. He also has very powerful punches. However, his weakness is his grappling, man. He showed it in his most recent fight against Toburo, where he got smothered and clobbered with very nasty elbows, and he had no answer for that. He wasn't able to get up while Toburo being on top, and he had no ground game whatsoever. On the other hand, Alvin Hines, very athletic for his size. He has a decently good gas tank. Hines will shoot for takedowns, and this guy is very strong, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to get them. And he does have nice grappling with a decent submission threat as well. His striking is not the best though. However, he does like to constantly move forward and constantly pressure his opponent. I just think Jonathan Denise has fought the better opponents. He's the better striker between the two, and I'm sure this guy has been practicing getting up from those terrible positions. So I'm a bet on that, and I got Denise to get the win here. Shrimp also said Denise, but anyway, guys, moving on to the next fight. We got Cedric Dumas going up against Jackson McVeigh. Cedric Dumas is really just a win slash loss fighter. He can't really put a winning streak together. He's coming off a first round KO loss not too long ago against Mikhail Olechasik. And after that, he went on a speed run to ruining his career, man. Somehow he landed another fight against Jackson McVeigh here after being arrested right after his previous fight. This guy, Cedric Dumas, he's mostly a wrestler. And he has decent striking, but he's not the best at either. He has a pretty slow pace, but he does tend to win against cans. McVeigh is also mostly a wrestler. He does have more of a submission threat, and his dirty boxing is pretty good with an arsenal of nasty knees and elbows, especially in the clinch. And all of his 6 professional fights have been finishes with 3 TKO wins and 3 submission wins as well. None of his fights have gone past the first round. This fight, however, I'm pretty hesitant to pick because Dumas is a very inconsistent fighter, and McVeigh hasn't really fought anyone good so far. And this is quite the step up in competition, to be honest, even though Cedric Dumas is not the best fighter in the UFC. I would definitely not bet in this fight at all, but I'd probably lean towards McVeigh to get a win here. And Shrimp agreed with me as well. I just don't trust Cedric Dumas, especially after that speed run to ruining his career. So we'll see how that goes. But it should be a decently fun fight. Hopefully there's a finish. That'd be really good. But yeah, moving on to the next fight, we got a banger between Terrence McKinney and Vyacheslav Vorkashev. McKinney is one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC right now. He is one of those guys that is kill or get killed. He's also a very cool person as well. Shrimp and I got to briefly meet him in Seattle, and Shrimp got a picture with him as well. McKinney is coming off a first round KO win over Hadzovic. Dude, this guy doesn't have a single fight going the distance in his career. This fight is going to be a freaking banger, like I said. Borshev is also a striker with 6 KO slash TKO out of his 8 wins. He has never been KO'd, but I believe McKinney is going to be able to get it done and get him up out of there in the first round with another KO slash TKO win. And guess what? Shrimp agreed with me as well. Sweet. Moving on to the next fight, guys. We got Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Oh man. Women's fights, they're so freaking hit or miss, man. You never know. They're going to be a complete banger of a fight or just going to be a trash fight. I did terrible in my picks last week. And I'm gonna blame it on the women's fights because I got both of the women's fights incorrect, man. The favorites freaking got destroyed by the underdog, and I'm scared to pick the favorite in this fight too. But I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway. I think Tracy Cortez, even though she is coming off a loss to Naman Yunus by unanimous decision, that's not too bad of a loss, especially after Naman Yunus coming off a nice win. And Naman Yunus is a previous champ. Vivian Arajo is also coming off a win over Silva, another unanimous decision win as well. But I just think the younger and more hungry fighter is probably going to get the win here. Shrimp and I both agreed that it was going to be a 29-28 unanimous decision win for Tracy Cortez. So we'll see how that goes, guys. But I will not bet on this fight either. But all right, guys, moving on to another fight that should be a banger. Hyder Emil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Hyder Emil is coming off a split decision win over Gomez, where I honestly think he lost, but it was a great fight and very entertaining. This guy will get hit to get a hit and will walk forward no matter what, man. That's what makes him so entertaining. And he has some nice power in the strikes as well. He is kind of slow though, and doesn't have the best head movement as well. But this guy can eat a strike, man. He has a block of a head. His opponent, Jose Miguel Delgado, also a very good striker and has great combos with a nice mix of strikes, man. He also has a submission threat that is very underrated and is not well known since he's currently on a 4-fight KO/TKO win streak. This guy has finished all of his wins with 5 KO/TKO wins and 4 submissions. And I just think Jose Miguel Delgado is going to be able to piece up Hyder Emil. It is going to be a pretty fairly competitive fight, though. Hyder Emil is going to be able to get some strikes on Delgado as well. It's going to be pretty back and forth, but I feel like ultimately Jose Miguel Delgado is going to get a unanimous decision win here. Since Hyder Emil is very durable and a very good fighter, this is going to be Delgado's first fight that he isn't able to finish. Shrimp said Delgado's winning as well, but he's calling a submission win. So, you guys, moving on to the feature fight of the prelims, we got Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Obama Rodriguez. We have a savvy vet in Hermanson going up against Robocop. This should be a very interesting fight, and it should be very fun to watch. Hermanson is coming off a win over Joe Pyfer, where he showed his experience in taking care of a young and very dangerous, hard-hitting striker. And he also has some notable wins in his career, like a submission win over GM3, which is crazy because GM3 is a submission machine. And he also submitted Gastelum, and he has a decision win over Pyfer, like I just said. He also had a really close fight against Sean Strickland. On the other hand, we got Gregory Rodriguez, who's a very dangerous striker. He has very nice grappling and some nice takedowns. He's coming off a loss, TKO loss to Jared Cannonier, though, where they had an absolute barn burner of a fight. Dude, both of those guys went at it. They were both landing some nasty shots, where even Gregory Rodriguez knocked down Jared Cannonier in the first round. I think Robocop has the win here by a KO/TKO. He's just too dangerous, man. And this guy just throws with intention. And I think it's just going to be too much for Hermanson. And even if they do take the fight to the ground, I trust Rodriguez to have his ground game well enough to defend himself. So we'll see how that goes. But I got Gregory Rodriguez to get a KO/TKO win here. This is the first fight that Shrimp and I disagree with. Shrimp is calling a Jack Hermanson crafty vet decision. So we'll see who gets this pick correct, guys. Sweet, guys. Moving on to the main card, starting with Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. Guys, we have a battle of the young up-and-comers. Yet another very interesting matchup, guys. Peyton Talbot has some very nice striking, and he does have the height and reach advantage here. I know he's a better striker between the two, but Talbot's grappling and his takedown defense and his ability to get out of the tough positions on the ground is what worries me about him. So we'll see how he does. And he showed this in his previous fight against Barcelos, where he got completely smothered on the ground and he got destroyed in a unanimous decision loss. But in all honesty, guys, there's no way they didn't go over this in his training camp. They of course have to practice getting up over and over and over again and getting out of those tough positions. So that's why I think Talbot will win this fight. But like Shrimp pointed out, Felipe Lima does have a speed advantage, and I think he is a better grappler out of the two. Lima is very well rounded, but I think Talbot will be able to control the range with his reach and be able to outstrike Lima. Like I said, Talbot for sure worked on his takedown defense, and he's going to be able to get up and be able to stuff Felipe Lima's takedown attempts. But we'll see how this fight goes. I don't want to overlook Lima, but this will be Talbot's comeback win. Like I said, I don't want to overlook Lima because he's currently on a 14-fight win streak, man. He only lost his first professional fight, and after that, he just went on a crazy run with 7 unanimous decision wins, 4 KO/TKO wins, and 3 submission wins. So this guy is a very good fighter, and he knows how to get a win, even if it's by a crafty decision win or being able to finish a fight. And that's why Shrimp picked Felipe Lima to win, that and the speed advantage. But I'm gonna go the opposite way. I think Peyton Talbot's reach advantage is gonna be able to help in this fight, and I'm a bet on that he practices taking on defense just like Jonathan Denise earlier in this fight. But for the final predictions, I got Peyton Talbot to win by unanimous decision, and Ivan said Felipe Lima. So we'll see how that goes, guys. But anyway, guys, let's move on to the next fight, to the rescheduled bout between Vanil Dariush and Renato Moicano. This bout was previously canceled because Moicano stepped in to fight Islam in a title fight where he got totally outclassed. But like he says, that fight was easy money. Not because it was an easy fight, though, but because he got paid well and it ended rather fast without him really taking any damage whatsoever. Vanil Dariush, he's coming off a 2 KO fight losing streak, but he is a great grappler with some nice wins throughout his career. And he was on an 8 fight win streak before those 2 losses, though. However, Moicano has some nice ground game as well, and he has a submission threat too. Even though he did get dominated by Islam, now that he's going up against Benil Dariush, which is a huge step down in competition, I think Renato Moicano is going to be able to win. He does have the striking advantage. And I feel like Renato Moicano is going to be able to stuff Benil Dariush's takedowns. I don't think Renato Moicano is going to be able to take Benil Dariush down. So if Renato Moicano is going to implement his ground game, it's going to have to be on his from his back, or either win up a nice position over Vanil Dariush. But I don't think so because Dariush is just such a good of a wrestler. So we'll see how it goes. But for our pick, guys, Shrimp and I think that Renato Moicano is going to be able to KO Dariush as well. Sweet, guys, moving on to one of the most interesting and fun fights besides the main events of the evening is Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. We got Brandon Royval on a 2 fight win streak. Yes, both of them were split decisions, but they were up against pretty crazy competition. And Joshua Van is currently on a 4 fight win streak with 3 unanimous decision wins, and his most recent one being a KO/TKO win. Royval is a great striker, guys. He's very tall and rangy for the flyweight division. Royval obviously has the UFC experience advantage and has fought the way better fighters. And Joshua Van is a sizzling hot up and comer, man. He's been beating people left and right. And this guy's very freaking active, man. It's freaking crazy. And his most impressive win was his most recent one over Bruno Silva, where he completely outclassed him, man. And he was able to finish him as well. But like Shrimp mentioned in our talk, is that the turnaround is just too fast for him, man. And it's too soon for Van to go up against the #1 contender in the flyweight division. It freaking sucks going up picking against Joshua Van because he's so good, he's so exciting, and like Yvonne said, and like Shrimp said, he's a freaking badass, man. But I think Royval is just too good. And I personally think Royval wins this fight by a 29-28 unanimous decision win, with Joshua Van winning 1 round and keeping it competitive through 3 rounds. Shrimp also has Royval winning this one as well. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm scared to pick against Joshua Van because Joshua Van is a freaking dog and he's a beast. He has some nice freaking boxing, but I think Brandon Royval's experience is going to be too much, guys. But yeah, both Shrimp and I agreed. He didn't specifically say the method of Royval's win, but I think it's going to be a 29-28 unanimous decision win. Sweet, guys, moving on to the co-main event of the evening and the fight for the flyweight championship belt. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. We got Pantoja on a 7 fight win streak with four decision wins and 3 submission wins, and he has 4 successful title defenses. Man, he's going up against Kai Kara France. He's coming off a KO/TKO win over Steven Ersic, where he completely outclassed him. This should be an interesting fight. Actually, not really, guys. Alexander Pantoja is gonna put a dominant grappling performance over Kai Kara France. No way Pantoja is gonna stand and bang with Kai Kara France, because Kai Kara France does have some nice striking, but Pantoja is just gonna dominate Kai Kara France. Or this fight is gonna go similar to the Pantoja's last title defense fight against Kaya Sakura, where Pantoja just completely dominated him everywhere. He did get hit a couple times, but nothing too crazy, and Pantoja was able to get a submission win. And I think this is also going to be a submission win, just like Shrimp agreed with me as well. Shrimp is calling a 3rd round sub. I'm calling a 2nd round sub. So we'll see who gets it correct. But I don't think in any world Kai Kara France is going to be able to beat Alexander Pantoja. So we'll see how this fight goes. Sweet guys, that's all I got for these guys because I want to move on to the main event of the evening and the fight for the vacant lightweight championship belt. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Ilia Topuria, undefeated fighter, 6 KO/TKO wins, 8 submission wins, and his most recent one over Max Holloway, where he KO'd him. I still think that was CGI, guys. It wasn't true. He's going up against Charles Oliveira, 35-10. He's coming off a win over Michael Chandler, where he completely dominated him there. Kind of was selling towards the end there, but he ended up getting the nice win there. I'm just gonna say it. Ilia Topuria is gonna win. He's gonna be able to beat Charles Oliveira, and it's not gonna be close. Shrimp said that Olives by the wheel of power and friendship, and is gonna be able to KO Ilia Topuria, but that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Sorry to tell you, Ivan. Like most of us, my heart says Charles Oliveira, but my money says Ilia Topuria. So we'll see how this fight goes, guys. Ilia Topuria has just got the cleanest boxing ever, and he does have underrated grappling abilities, like I said before with the other fighter. Since this guy has been KOing people left and right, no one has been really paying to his grappling abilities. But I'm calling it right now. It's my underdog pick of the night. I think Ilia Topuria is gonna be able to submit Charles Oliveira. There's no way this fight goes to the distance, and if by somehow, some way, Charles Oliveira is able to beat Ilia Topuria, that'll be super good. For me, this is a win-win situation because if Ilia Topuria wins, I get my pick correct, and if Charles Oliveira wins, he's the champ again, and we're all gonna be happy. So we'll see how that goes. And to be honest, I want Ilia Topuria to win because that makes Max Holloway's loss look not too bad because he lost and got KO'd against the current lightweight champion. So we'll see how that goes. So, you guys, let's just go over the final prediction. I got Ilia Topuria to get a submission win, and Shrimp said Olives by the will of power and friendship, and the KO by Charles Oliveira. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching my breakdown on each fight. Hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy the UFC card that is coming up. We will see you guys in the next video. Adios.